Good evening. It's Sunday, June 13th. I think I'll come on tomorrow to do a daily reading, but this evening I'd like to do the weekly reading. See what we have. I admittedly wasn't going to come on and do it, but I was in the tub and I was going to do it, and then I was in the tub and I was like, I was really feeling Spirit asking me to do the reading. So we're going to do the reading. And we'll use the Constellation Tarot. This one's going to be a reading on the week. So I think you know that I've been doing some readings at the beginning of the week, and it always turns out to be more of an overcast forecast. Overcast is a forecast. And anyway, it's kind of part of a forecast. But anyway, my readings do, especially at the beginning of the week, tend to be forecast for overall themes and tones that we can expect to experience during the course of the upcoming week. But I will come on in the morning. As I said, I've been reorganizing my time. And I'll come on in the morning and do the daily reading for June 14th. This one's going to be a reading for the week of June 13th through whatever the end of the week is. We already have one card coming up. It's the Seven of Pentacles. This is the Constellation Tarot deck by Irina Semenova. I hope I didn't butcher your name. But Seven of Pentacles, seeds well planted. So we've already got that one coming up. And just from some of the astrological chatter, and I forgot to tag Christopher Witecki in one of my last readings. But he's an excellent, just unbelievable astrologer. Dorothy Morgan. Those two are my favorites. Hercules. So this is the card of strength. We're going to need it. Based on the astrological stuff I hear coming up. I'm a student of astrology. Astrology expert. But yeah, I think we can all feel that. Oh, and we have two more. The Eight of Swords and the Phoenix. So this is the 13th card in the major arcana. Oh, I should show them to you. Sorry, I'm really entranced with them myself. So this is essentially the Death card. And the card of transformation, though. So you see that Irina, in the Constellation Tarot deck, it is presented as the Phoenix, which is, I love the card. I love, that was one of the things that in the Crystal Visions deck, very highlighted, that highlighting the death cards, I think, in the more modern decks that we see are not, that finality of death. It's this opportunity for transformation, which is really important. King of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so again, wealth, being very much in control of how you utilize your resources, how you get your resources. This is somebody who's in complete command and control. Can also be somebody who is, can be very greedy, but he's in the upright, so I wouldn't go with that attribute, and I certainly don't see that in any of the cards that came up. So let's take a look at what did come up. I'll turn them around so we can take a look. All right, so we have the Seven of Pentacles. Yay. Seeds well planted, or seeds that we are beginning to plant, which, post an eclipse, that's a new moon, although, and the kind of new moon that we just had is we're changing the way we think about things. the way we express ourselves. We're looking during this time of Mercury retrograde, which that will still be the case through next week. So this weekend, this weekend actually. So this is going through next week, which is the 19th and the 20th. Mercury goes back direct next week, but then there will be the period of shadow. We've been really looking at this time of Mercury retrograde in Gemini as an opportunity that's where we look at how we communicate on to ourselves, to the people around us, with whom we share time on a daily basis, be it that in a work position, your family life, any kind of day-to-day interactions. Your most intimate day-to-day interactions are the ones that you have with yourself. So it's very specifically when we start to talk to ourselves differently and we communicate with ourselves differently and we are looking within differently and we're utilizing our communication skills to understand ourselves, changing our perspectives is what happens. And therefore, we begin to communicate differently in the external world. We may have planted seeds during this Gemini season, even just before Mercury went retrograde, right at the end of May, when we had the first eclipse, about starting to do this. And the seeds that we're seeing are starting to come out. And so, what we've put down is starting to come. We're starting to see the reflection of that very, very quickly. And, I'm looking at this and I see, I love that she's got kind of these lotus flowers that are part of these pentacles in her artwork. And I don't see, and these are seeds that are, they're rising above the trees. They're rising above the tree line. So even though you would think that these were something that we were cultivating and we're still in process of cultivating, we're seeing them already coming off the ground. We're seeing all of these dreams, these ideas already taking off into the higher realms. And I'm also being drawn to the fact that they are coming off the ground. They're not base ideas. These are signs that we're thinking of, we're taking the higher road in our communications to ourselves. We're starting to see ourselves as ascending. We see ourselves as having come from, we're taking stock of where we've come from. We're incorporating the stuff that, we're incorporating the experience and we're rising above. We're rising above the tree line. We're gaining that higher perspective. We're high, you see that these seeds are lifting into the mountains. So normally you would see in a traditional tarot, a person casting these seeds into the ground and seeing what's going to land and what's going to come to fruition. These seeds are actually already growing. Okay, so you're probably seeing that in your life, but that requires strength because sometimes we plant seeds and we're moving along in life, and that requires change. When you start to change your perspectives, that engenders change around you. When that happens, that does require strength to keep going. And I do recommend that you keep going. There is value in keep going. And coming from a person who has been definitely one of those people who has buyer's remorse constantly, have the strength to, stay with it and know that you have done well. There may be things that come up this week that make you want to turn around and feel like you're fighting you might feel like you're fighting a three-headed hydra, which is what Hercules is. But this is strength. And we have the strength within us. And that's the central card of the reading. We actually have this strength within us. We do. And even if it's so many things that are coming at us, he's not only that, I see a lot of, see all the energy around this person, this figure, this feature, this constellation feature in our sky. We have the strength. We definitely have the strength to do this. And in the strength card, as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking of Archangel Ariel, who in another tarot deck, the Archangel Tarot deck, Archangel Ariel is the archangel featured on that, in that card, and she is a very grounded person. So even though this is a constellation and somebody who's up in the sky, being grounded and coming back to this place of knowing that we have planted seed, the things that we've done, we draw up from our very grounded feet on the ground, all of the experience that we've cultivated over the course of many, many years. Put your feet on the ground and be solid in that. And from there, you get your strength. Whatever practices that you need to do, maybe it is, meditation, it is a practice, again, that you cultivate, okay? And the willingness to just come back and continue doing it does require strength. And even if you only carve out 5 to 15 minutes a day to just put a timer on and agree that that's your quiet time, to start to cultivate that, that's great. If you just carve out 5 to 15 minutes a day to do mindful walking outside or even mindful walking in your home, do it. Because that will give you the strength to put your feet on the ground and be mindful, to look around, to appreciate nature. You can then deal with these kinds of things that are coming at you when we're in that attitude of gratitude. And that comes from the Seven of Pentacles. So, and the final two cards that we have came out together, and this is the Eight of Swords and the Phoenix. So this is transformation of your thoughts. An Eight of Swords card is always, these are thoughts that are, we had the Six of Swords that came up last Thursday in the deck, and in the swords, you see the winds of change are coming in. So we can either, again, get frozen or crossed up in our thought processes, or we can transform it. And the tarot is begging us to transform our thought processes, because it's actually through that transformation of thought, as we discussed as we began this conversation, that therein lies your salvation, so to speak. Therein lies your ascension. Therein lies your ability to change your environment around you and to be as stable as this guy. P.S. And then the King of Cups, stability in not only your material, but your spiritual life and emotional life. These guys are kings, King of Cups and King of Pentacles. These guys are at the bottom of the deck. And we've got, the Ace of Swords here. So we have divine, sharp ideas, good ideas, coming up with, creative ideas. Very creative thought. An Ace of Swords is a creative thought process. And then you're riding those winds of change, and again, you're picking that one thing. You're choosing to stay very focused, like only a king can be. You're mastering your material world. You're mastering your spiritual and your emotional world. That's what those kings are about. So you have your choice to either get bound up, completely hijacked in thought process, or transform your thoughts. These came out together. So, please don't think that you're actually doing this by yourself. That's the one thing I want to tell you. Don't think you're doing this by yourself. This is divine intervention. This is talking to higher power. This is resourcing the people around you, who are also divine expressions of the One. We all are. Came up in last week's reading, right? Unique. You are important. You are very important to all of us. as I am important to you, right? We see the God, we see the kings, the divinity in each and every one of us. When we look at each other in that way, and that's when we can recognize that in ourselves, that's where we're changing our thought processes. That's where we're transforming our thought processes, and we're breaking ourselves out of our own jails. That's cool. Just want to do that. The jail of our mind. But we have that opportunity to not get bogged down in that stuff. Don't believe the hype. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. That's actually the reading for the week. That is the reading for the week, period. I'll come back tomorrow morning, throw down a reading for Monday, and we'll see where we go with the week. I love you, and have a great week. Comment, like, subscribe. If you want a private reading, just email me, lisa.loring@gmail.com. PayPal donations, always accepted. Thank you very much for those who do. Venmo too. I'll put the Venmo in there. I'm excited. I'm excited for the week ahead. I love you guys. Have a good one.